Welcome back. So the front felt pretty easy, some steps here. Now it's really going to get crazy on the back. So let's get a start on some of these concepts and we'll continue to practice in class. Okay, so they actually want to know this part. Very tricky. So I'm wondering, I don't really see, I kind of see a snow cone, but, and it doesn't go through the center, but I could just identify what I know. So I know this is 168. Okay, that part I definitely know. And I know that, oh, I kind of do see a snow cone. It's a really fat one though, right? I know this snow cone, really fat snow cone. Lots of, right? The tip of the cone is half the snow. So I actually know arc F. Ooh, it's a big one. I actually know the measurement of arc FGH. This major arc, excuse me, has to be twice as big as the tip of the cone. So that's a really big snow cone, but this major arc has to be 2 times 119. Okay, so 18 carry the 1, 3, 2. Okay, so this major arc, FGH, has to be 238. I also know that this yellow arc is 168. So using the concept of arc addition, I know that arc FG, whatever arc FG is, plus the 168 would have to equal this whole thing, 238. Okay. Now, if I'm losing some people, don't worry. We're going to keep practicing this stuff, but it's getting a little crazy in here. Okay, 70. So this blue arc I put here is 70, and I can double check that. 70 plus 168 should be 238. Feeling good. Okay. Now I'm almost done. I know that that's the part I need to figure out. I know that there is another snow cone. So I guess let me use a different color. This snow cone is created, and I know that the tip of the cone is 65. So the snow has to be twice as big. Well, what's the snow? The snow is x plus 70. So taking a look here, the left side of my equation is 130. And so now solving for that, subtracting 70 on both sides, I know x has to be 60. So x is technically called arc VF. Arc VF is 60 degrees. Whew. Kind of a crazy question, a lot going on there, a lot of steps we're going to keep working on, but this is just kind of the first interaction with some of this stuff. Okay, this one looks a little bit easier. I see my snow cone. It's not hard to see it. The tip of my cone is half the snow. So this one has to be 95 times 2. Okay, so this would be 190 degrees, arc QR. And that's 75. And somebody said today all the way around has to be 360. We definitely talked about that in class. So if all the way around is 360, whatever this is, x plus the 75 plus the 190, all has to add up to 360. So using that concept, 190 plus the 75 plus the x would get me all the way around. I can figure out what x is. $95. So what is x? Well, technically it's arc QS. So the measure of arc QS was 95 degrees. All right, and I can double check my answer. 95 plus 190 plus 75 should add up to 360. Okay. Now I'm just going to scoot down to question 12. Ooh, I see a little algebra. So here's my snow cone. Again, you can highlight it in any color you want. The tip of my cone is half of my snow. So if I figured this out, I got to double it in order to equal the snow. So the tip times 2 has to equal the snow. It's kind of my unofficial formula. So if the snow is 80, I know the tip is 40, because 40 times 2 is 80. So I like this formula, and that's where I got this. The tip is this expression, and this is the snow. And now I'm noticing this is just like an algebra class. Okay, so I'm multiplying two things, the expression and 2. So I maybe you will feel more familiar if I write it like this. I need to get rid of parentheses. Distribute. So 62. So I love these questions. So interesting here. Okay, I don't have a calculator, but use your calculator to figure out what that is. I would appreciate it. Okay. Next question. It's probably 3. Oh, I think I can do it in my head. I think it's 3. Because 62 times 3 would be 618. Yeah, okay. Maybe I can do that in my head. All right. Back to 11. Big fat snow cone. There's my inscribed angle, and that's my intercepted arc. This thing. I know what that thing is. I know what the major arc, QRK, is, because the tip of the cone is half the snow. So this has to be 220, because the tip has to be half the snow. Now what's left? 50 and 30x. So we know all the way around has to be 360. So 220 plus 50, okay, plus the 30x would all have to add up to 360. Wow, okay. All the way around has to add up to 360 degrees. So let's combine these two. That looks a little bit better. And let's get x by himself on one side. Get this over here. Looking good. Okay, that's what we got for the other one. Ooh, okay. Find the measure of the arc or the angle. So they want angle in LM. Okay, so I have to figure out what that is. So I can't just solve for x. I'm going to have to figure out what x is, then know what this snow is in order to work my way back to the tip. That's a lot of steps. So I'm going to start a new video with these, because these are kind of these are a little bit different than these. So check out the third video to get questions 13, 14, 15, 16.